Hello guys, and welcome to another video in the series of Linux tutorials. In this video we are going to talk about two user accounts file, that is password file and shadow file. So let's begin. First of all, let's talk about the password file that is stored in the /etc directory. Okay, now this file is used to keep the track of every user that is registered in the system. It contains various information regarding that particular user. For instance, currently if you view this file, then you will see that there are lot number of users and their associated information is given. Okay, now the information is column separated. Now if I create any particular user, then an entry will be created in this file also, which contains the information of this particular user. For instance, I will create a user with the name Vicky16. Right, I will give the password, then the information, let's say Vicky sync, the room number, let's say 456, work phone 778899, let's say home phone 112233, and the other information, this is good. Okay, information is correct, yes. Let me clear it. And now if we again view that file, then you will see the entry for the newly created user is present here, right? So let me clear it again, and now what I will do, I will also grab my Vicky16 information. Now it will show us various information regarding that particular user. First of all, we have the name of the user, that is Vicky16. Then we have the hashed password. In the previous times, the hashed password was used in this particular field. Okay, for instance, if my password was, let's say Vicky, then this was getting hashed and the hashed value was stored in this particular field. This was done in the previous time, but now we have a separate file to store password related information, and in this particular field it is marked as X. So this particular field is not used now. Okay, and the other file that contains the password related information of a user is the shadow file, which we will talk about soon. After that, we have the user ID. So if I write here ID and then give here as Vicky16, then you will see 1006 is the user ID. After that, we have the user primary group ID. So primary group ID is 1007. Okay, then we have the full name, that is Vicky16, then room number, then work phone number, then the home phone number, and then the other information. After that, it contains the default home directory of that user and then the default shell when the user gets logged in. For instance, if I logged in here as the user Vicky16, then my home directory will be /home/Vicky16, and also my shell will be bash. Now one very important thing to remember, that any changes that I made in this file will also be reflected in the original user accounts. For instance, let me exit from this account first and clear the screen, and I'll open this file /etc password. Okay, and then I will change this. Let's say I'm changing the default shell of the user and I'm changing it to the bourne shell, right? Here we provide the path of the executable. So I'll save this file. And now what I will do, I will again log in as the Vicky16 user. Okay, and now you will see that my shell has been changed to the bourne shell, that is the sh shell. So any changes that is made in that particular file will also be reflected in original user account information. Now after that, we have another file, that is the shadow file, which contains the various password related information of a particular user. For example, if you view this file /etc shadow, it is also present inside the /etc directory, and I will do here sudo. Okay, then you will see it contains the password related information of every registered user. Now just like the password file, it is also the column separated file which contains various information. So let me clear it first, and now what I will do, I will grab the information of the user that I had created, that is Vicky16. Okay, first of all, we have the name of the user, then we have the hashed password. Now for hashing the password, there are various algorithms that can be used. If you want to know that which particular hashing algorithm it has been used, then you have to view these three fields or these 4 digits. Now if you see here $1, that means MD5 hashing has been used. Similarly, if you are viewing that $to $8, it means that the blowfish hashing algorithm has been used. Similarly, $6 means that the SHA-512 hashing algorithm has been used, and this particular tells us the entire hashed password. Now the hashed password you will see in various forms, so let's discuss them one by one. So first of all, when the user created a password, it will be shown in the normal form. So this will be our normal hashed password. Okay, but when you lock a particular user, then you will see an exclamation mark before this hashed password. So if I write here sudo password -l, which is used to lock a particular user, and then the name of the user, that is wiki16. Okay, so this has been changed, and now if I again view this file, then you will see it is marked as the exclamation mark and then the hashed password. It means that now the user will not be able to authenticate using the password method. So if I try to log in here, su-l wiki16, it will not allow me, because no matter what I write the password here, the hash equivalent of this password is never going to match with this one. Okay, and our account has been locked. If you want to unlock it, then you have to define here -u option. Okay, so it will unlock our password and now you will be able to log in successfully, right? So let me clear it. So this was the second type of entry that you will see in this particular field. After that, while creating the user, if you didn't specify any password, then that particular field will be marked as the single exclamation mark. For instance, let me create another user here, that is wiki17. Okay, and I am not providing any password here. I am just pressing here enter and then again enter, enter and enter. Okay, and now yes, no. Okay, and I will not provide any particular information also. And now if you see this particular file, then for wiki17, you will see that it is only marked with the single exclamation mark. Now single exclamation marks means that during the account setup, no password has been used and it is also locked by default. So if I try to log in here as the wiki17, it will not allow it because it has been locked. Okay, so initially if no password is given, then you will see the entry here as exclamation mark, right? After that, sometimes you will see no entry here at all. For instance, if you do here password -d, that means we are going to delete the password for the, let's say, wiki16. Okay, and I'll write here sudo, and now what I will do, I will get it and see it for the wiki16. Then you will see there is no particular entry. Now if there is no value, that means that no password is required to log in the system. So without the password, I will be able to log in the system. Okay, see, I am logged in. So empty means that no password is required to log in the system, right? Now after all this, there is one more type of input that you will see here, that is the asterisk. Okay, so you will see there are a lot of asterisks here. So what are these asterisks? So what happens when the operating system gets installed or any particular packages get installed, then some users are created to carry out the process related task. Okay, so for those process users, it is generally marked as the asterisk. Okay, now asterisk also means that this particular user is not allowed to log in our system and it has been locked. So sometimes you may see the asterisk and sometimes you will simply see the exclamation mark. Both means that the account has been locked and the user will not be able to log in my system. Okay, now one very important thing to remember, that when we lock our system, it is going to be locked only for the password based authentication. The user will still able to log in our system using other mechanisms. For example, before locking the account, if user has already set up their SSH keys, then the user will not have to use the password based authentication. He can simply use the SSH key authentication method. In that case, even though the account will be locked, but he will be able to log in our system. Okay, so sometimes this is not required. So to overcome it, we generally expire our accounts or a particular user's account. We will soon see how we can expire the accounts. Okay, now after this field, we have other entries also. So let me grab it for the wiki16, right? So this particular entry tell us the last password change. Okay, so it tell us the number of days from 1st of January 1970 to the last password change date. So it counts the number of days and it prints here. Okay, now the fourth field is the minimum password age. That means the user will only be able to change the password after this much number of days has been passed after creating the account. For instance, after creating the account, if this value is set to the 4, then only after 4 days are passed, the user will be able to change their password. Okay, then we have the maximum password age. That means the user must have to change their password after this much amount of days has been completed. After that, we have the warning days, inactivity days, and the account expiry date, and the last field is not used at all. So let me explain these three fields with an example, as it always creates some sort of confusions. So first of all, let's draw a line here, and let's say the account was created here. Okay, here account created, right? Then we have something known as the password expiration date, password expiry. Okay, and something also account expired, or we can say account is disabled. Now let's say the account was created on 21st of May and the password expiry date was set to the 25th of May, and then the account disable or account expiry date was set to the, let's say, 30th of May. So the user account has been created and the user is able to log into the system successfully. Once the date 25th of May, then after logging to the system, he will get the message of resetting the password. Okay, so he will have to reset his password. So after 25th of May, let's say if he is logging in the 27th of May, so when he will try to log in, the first message that he will receive is to reset his password. Okay, so whenever the password gets expired, then after that day, if the particular user is trying to log in, then he will get the prompt to reset his password. Okay, that is the meaning of password expiry. Now account expiry means that the password will be expire. So let me write here, password will be expire, and also no prompt to reset the password. Okay, so once the account has been expired, that means there is no way for the user to log in the system. How can he be able to log in the system? If the system administration change this expiry date, account expiry date, or he create entirely new password for the user with a different expiry date. Okay, so this is the password expiry, this is the account expired, and this is the account created. Now we have the warn days. Okay, warning days, right? Let's say that it is set to the 2 day. Now if you see, the password expiry date was 25th of May. Go back 2 days, that is 24th and 23rd of May. Okay, now when the date will hit to the 23rd of May, the user will start to get prompt that your password is going to be expired, please reset it. Some sort of message like this. Okay, so what is the warning period or warning days? That how many days before the password get expired that you want to notify the user that your password is about to expire. Okay, if it is set to the 2 days, then before the 2 days the user will start to get that notification whenever he is logging in. Similarly, if it is set to the 3 days, then from the 22nd of May, the user will get that prompt. Okay, that is the meaning of our warning days. After that, we have the inactive time. Okay, so let me write here inactive or inactive period also it is called. Now let's say that it is set to the 3 here. Okay, so after 25th of May, that is 26th, 27th and 28th of May, right? So within these 3 days, the user must have to change their password or his account will get disabled. Okay, so that is the meaning of our inactive date. So after the password has been expired, the user must have to reset their password within the inactive period. If the user is not changing or resetting their password, then the account will be automatically get disabled before it hits the actual expiry date. Okay, so this was our actual account disabled or actual account expired date. But if the user didn't change their password within these 3 days, then also the account will get disabled. Okay, and then the user might have to contact with the system admin to reset his password. So this is inactive days. Okay, note that in the shadow file you will receive this information, that is account expiration days. Then you will also receive inactive days, the warning days also, but you will not see any password expiry date or day information there. Okay, now this particular first field was our warning period, then the other was our inactive period, then the eighth one was our account expiration date, and then the last one is not being used. Okay, note that the account expiration day is also calculated in the number of days from the January 1st 1970. Right, now just like the password file, if I change any entries here, then the actual user account settings will also get affected. Okay, now to change this password expiry related information, we should use the command that is the chage. Right, so this particular command is used to view that information in a much better format. For instance, if I write here for wiki 16 and we have to run it with the sudo privileges. Now in case if you want to change it, then you can simply write here chage and then the name of the user. Okay, so it will ask for the minimum password age, that is set to the 0 right now. So let me set it to the 2, and then the maximum password change, let's say 9. Then the last password change, let it be the same date. Password expiration warning, which is set to the 9. Password inactive, that means the inactive period. Note that the -1 value is given to set it to the never. Okay, so let me set it to the 6. Then account expiration date. So account expiration date we can give like 2022 dash month, let's say 02, and the day, let's say 16. Using the change command, we do not have to calculate the actual number of days there, right? And now if you see this information, then it will be changed accordingly. Now if you want to change any specific information, then you can give the option here also. For instance, if I want to change the maximum days, then maximum password age, then you can give here option as M, and let me give here now as 6. Okay, then you will see the information and the information will change accordingly. Now one very important thing to notice here is that this password expiration is not asked when I was changing this information. So how does it is getting calculated? Okay, so it is calculated by adding the maximum number of days with the last password change. For instance, last password change here was 12th of May. We add the 9 days here, that is the maximum number of days, and it became the 21st of 2021. So after this time, after this number of days, the user must have to change their password. Okay, now if you view that file, then the information will be changed also accordingly, right? So if you see here, the days has been changed to 19039, then 6, which is telling us, then the 9 is our warning period, then we have the 6, that is the maximum password age. After that the user must have to change their password. Then we have the 2, that is the minimum password age. Only after passing this number of days the user will be able to change their password. Okay, and the last one is the reserved one, that is used for the future. Now in any case, if you want to expire the account or disable any particular account so that the user will not be able to log in into the system by any means, not even through the password mechanism or through any other mechanism like SSH, for that you will have to expire the account. So let me first view the information of wiki 16 user. I'll use here sudo. Then we have to expire this particular entry. For that, what we can do, we can use the command here chage -e, that is for the expiration date, and give here value as 0. Okay, so if I press enter, and now if we view the information, then you will see it is set to the January 1, 1970. Okay, and this time has already been passed, so the account has been already been disabled, right? So now if I try to log in here, so let me try to log in here, su-l, and I'll give here as wiki 16. Your account has been expired. Please contact your system administration. Note that after the account expired, I also didn't get any prompt to change my password. Okay, so on the contrary, if I expires my password, then I will get the prompt to change my password. Okay, for that, let me first again change the informations here, right? So minimum password is, let it be same, last password change, let it be same, password expiration, okay. Then expiration date currently set to the 1970, so I'll set it to the 2022-02 and 03, okay. Then we will view the information. Then you will see it is set to the February 3rd 2022, okay. Now what I will do, I will expire my password, okay, not account. For that I can write here -d0, okay. And now if I press enter, do the L, then you will see that it is saying that password must be changed. And if I try to log in here as wiki16, then you will see it is prompting me to change my password, okay, to the new one. So that's the difference. When we disable the account, the user will not be able to reset his password, and only the system admin can help him. That is only the root user. And the second thing, when we expire the password, then the user will get the prompt to change the password, okay. So this was about the changing the password related information of a user. One last thing that I want to tell you is the password command to change the password of any particular user. For instance, if I want to change the password of, let's say, wiki16, then I can give the command here as password wiki16, right, and it will ask me to write the new password and it will be changed. Similarly, if I want to change the password for another user, I can give here another user name, right, and I can change the password here. Now one last thing, the password of a user can only be changed by that particular user or by the system admin. System admin, I mean that by the root user, okay. For instance, if I'm logged in here as an wiki, then only the wiki user can change its password, or the root. No other user can change the password of any other users, okay. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you like the video. If you have any doubt, please comment it down. Thanks for watching, and I have to see you in the next video.